these are the 10 most common struggles that career-focused men deal with when it comes to getting fit, getting leaner, putting on muscle, and just stepping into the healthiest version of themselves. I'm gonna basically tackle each of these struggles one by one and give you some actionable strategies. So by the end of the video, you're equipped, you got the right tools in your toolbox so that you can overcome all these obstacles and put yourself on path towards becoming your most fit self. Okay, and the only reason I can talk about this, I've been absolutely obsessed with just helping men just like you get fit, put on muscle, get leaner for years. I've been coaching since I was 19. This is my life's mission. This is all I do. It's all I think about. And I've read like so many books on this topic. I've hired mentors to teach me and equip me to help me like know the strategies to help others. So this is not something that I'm just gonna come up on a whim. This is actually working for real people, and this is based on a lot of knowledge and experience that I've accumulated over the course of many years. And the first struggle is a lack of time. Okay, so if you're busy, you're working 10 hours a day, 80-hour weeks, for example, without a strategy of knowing exactly when and where and why you're working out, it's gonna be incredibly improbable to actually create consistency with your fitness routine. You gotta actually have a way to evaluate how you're spending your time currently. That way you know where you can realistically implement going to the gym, some of these productive habits. I know for a fact, if you think, oh, I'm super busy, I got people all the time messaging me that they're super busy, but they're spending time on social media, spending time on Instagram. So like literally like go on your phone and your settings and check your screen time. How much time are you spending just mindlessly scrolling? If you're doing an hour a day, boom, I just freed you up an hour. All right, so here's something very simple that you can do. Go into your Google Calendar, just create what you're gonna call your perfect week. Okay, and if you had like the best week of all time, you stuck to all your habits, right? You didn't neglect any of your important values. What would that week look like? Fill out the whole thing to the detail. This is when I'm gonna work, right? This is when I'm gonna wake up. This is when I'm gonna go to bed. And I just want you to block out 3 1-hour time blocks in your week that you're gonna be at the gym, okay? And then literally like on a piece of paper or on the notes on your phone, you're gonna write something called an implementation intention, right? So like most people that they say, oh, I don't have time, it's such an ambiguous cop-out. If you actually looked in a very granular level where you're spending your time and you're actually like proactive about scheduling, you would realize, oh shoot, I actually do have time, right? So go in the notes on your phone, right? I will go to the gym on whatever 3 days you picked, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. in this location so that I can become a healthy, fit, and confident person. And just having that clarity, getting rid of that ambiguity helps us so much helps us really realize that we actually have a lot more time than we thought, okay? So you have time, you just don't have a plan. You just don't have a schedule. All right, inconsistent routine, right? Like a lot of people struggle with consistency because they're just focusing on goals rather than identity-based habits. And this is something that I fell victim to for a long time on a lot of, goals and ambitions that I had in my own life. And I had seen a lot of my former clients, like when I first started coaching, fell victim to this too. Like makes so much sense. Like when you see it, you can't unsee it, okay? And kind of the best way I can explain it is, let's say I think of myself as a unfit person, right? Like I kind of have that label, that self-image that I'm not a healthy and fit person. And no matter if I set the goal that, hey, I'm gonna start going to the gym, I'm gonna start building muscle and getting leaner and changing my results. If I have this limiting label in my brain, this way that I perceive myself is down here, you will always revert to the way that you view yourself. You will always rise or fall to the level of your self-image, right? So like think of it this way, if me and you switched minds right now, my mind went into your body and your mind went into my body, what do you think would happen? I'll tell you what would happen. My mind and your body, I would get super fit in like 3 months. And the reason is not just that I have more knowledge than you, like we both probably have a pretty similar amount of knowledge. You know you need to eat nutritious foods, right? High protein, right? Clean ingredients. You know that you need to work out, go to the gym consistently, push yourself, set records. Fundamentally, you know what to do, right? But the reason why my mind and your body, I would get you super fit, super quick, is because I think of myself as a fit person. That is how I identify. That is my self-image. When I go to set these daily habits, like going to the gym, eating nutritious food, I'm not doing it to set a goal. I'm not doing it to put on 5 more pounds of muscle or, bench 225. I'm not doing it for any goals. I'm working out and I do these habits. I stay in this consistent routine because I think of myself as a fit person. That's how I identify, right? And even if your mind went into my body and you had an awesome physique, you would probably revert right back to where you are within a few months. And that's because you don't think of yourself as a fit person yet, right? So a lot of that initial work that you need to do is just realizing, okay, I'm not doing these things to achieve this goal. I'm doing these things because I'm shifting my identity. I'm changing changing myself from the inside out. I'm deciding to become a fit person. I'm identifying with who I'm becoming. I have a clear vision of who I aspired to be, and I'm gonna do these things to help me become that person. That's how you can do it sustainably. That's how you can do it consistently. Anytime people fall into an inconsistent routine, always because of that. They're just focusing on the goal. They're not focusing on the identity. All right, low energy levels. Okay, this is one that guys struggle with because they don't understand that the habits create the energy. When you have an exciting vision of who you're becoming, right? You know, okay, I want to be a fit person, and that is exciting for you. And you start taking actions that are congruent with who you're becoming and with that goal. It is one of the most energizing feelings of all time, right? So like if you have an intention, okay, I want to actually become a fit, muscular, and confident person because I know, it's going to improve my marriage. It's going to improve, the way that I father my kids. It's going to improve the way I show up in my career. It's going to improve the way I think about myself when I look in the mirror. All these things, and that's exciting for you. You acting in congruence with that exciting ambition is so energizing. So people that have low energy, it's because they're not actually acting in congruence with who they're becoming, right? And you got to realize like all these habits, putting good quality fuel in your body. I can't think of anything that's more energizing. Like food literally is energy. You are literally putting gas in the tank. You are putting energy in your body, right? So it's like, you can't put the cart before the horse. You can think, oh, okay, if once I have energy, then I'll start focusing on my fitness. Okay, once I have money, then I'll start saving, right? But in reality, you got to start saving to then generate money, right? So you can't put the cart before the horse. You got to realize, okay, I actually have to do these things to then generate the energy to help me keep doing these things, okay? So that's an easy fix. Just kind of having that paradigm shift, reframing it. Physical insecurity. Okay, this is a pretty like philosophical issue. Like if you're insecure and you have this physical insecurity, it's because you're comparing yourself to others, not comparing yourself against yourself. There's no reason to be insecure when you're not doing it for how anybody perceives you. Like working out is not about looking good for others. Like I don't give a shit about how people think of me and like people like look at me like, oh, like he's muscular. Like honestly, I don't work out for that by any means. I work out because I love feeling like the best version of me. I love being as fit as I could possibly be. I love looking in the mirror and feeling like, man, I feel so good that I'm showing up for myself and living into my full potential. That's why I do it. So there's nothing to be insecure about, right? When it comes to like how people are going to perceive you. And it's just like realizing that, hey, my current shortcomings, they don't define me. They don't represent my character. It's easy to feel insecure when you think of that you are your results. Like for example, let's go back to the situation of if my mind went into your body. Even though I might not have awesome results yet, I wouldn't feel insecure because I don't identify with my results. I identify with my potential. I identify with who I'm becoming, right? With how I view myself, with my vision, right? So there's no reason to harp on yourself for not being where you want to be because where you are, that is not who you are. Treat yourself as if you already are who you're becoming. That's one of my favorite quotes from a book called The Power of Intention by Wayne Dyer. So there's no reason to be insecure because this has nothing to do with how anyone perceives you. This just has to do with you, how you perceive you, and you actually just allowing yourself to start stepping into your full potential, into your birthright of who you were born to become, of all of this stuff. Like being fit, that is your birthright, is what I'm trying to say. Like you were born to actually like live into your full potential. Like why would you like think of it logically? Like you have it within you. Like you're a human being. If other people have gotten fit, then so can you. Like just because you've had some bad habits in the past that have led to your current results, that doesn't mean that you are those bad habits. For example, imagine my whole life, instead of setting some of these good habits I've done, like reading some of these books and working out, let's say I grew up like in the slums, right? And I had really bad influences all around me that were telling me to, hey, don't worry about growing. Don't worry about, being a better version of you, right? And let's say I had super bad results right now. I was like super out of shape. I was super just mean to people or something. That wouldn't change my fundamental capability of who I can be. I've always had the potential within me. So it's just like remembering like as a human being, you have that potential within you. Don't let your past habits, mistakes, and beliefs define you, put you in a box and like put that limiting label on yourself that you can't break free from, okay? I know I kind of went on a tangent there. Hope that makes sense. No reason to be insecure. Having the all or nothing mindset. Okay, maybe you've struggled with the all or nothing mindset. I'll tell you a story of one of my most successful clients is actually my dad. And ever since I had known my dad, he always had a very all or nothing mindset. Like he would go on keto, like super hard, drop weight, and then he would just like go crazy and like get super obese. And he would always fluctuating my whole life. Like he would run marathons and then he would just like not work out. And literally kind kind of what we talked about earlier, he was never setting those identity-based habits. He was always just saying, okay, I'm just going to focus on the goal, getting this result, doing these things to get this outcome, but never focusing fundamentally on who he was becoming, right? And literally that was the solution to his all or nothing mindset. We started working together almost a year ago. And the first thing we did is I helped him actually change his, recalibrate his self-image. Starting in his mind, I helped him visualize himself, and we created this vision of the 70-year-old Jim. And it was him hiking in Scotland with his friends. And, we got really clear on all the ways that was going to affect him and his life. And I just said, hey, I just want to give you the permission, or encourage you to give yourself the permission to just start identifying with this version of you. Start believing that this is the true you. And then every day when you start setting these habits, stop doing it out of scarcity, out of fear. I got to do it so that I can, be better, so that I can get these results, so that I could, run away from the shame, and start doing it just to step into that abundant vision that you have for yourself and for your life. And literally like that, it totally changes all or nothing mindset. He's never been more fit, just proud of who he is. He can't stop talking about the awesome results that he's getting. And it's been one of the most gratifying, clients I've ever trained. Obviously it's my own dad. And it's just really cool. So that's an easy way to just nip the all or nothing mindset in the bud. Is, that's probably one of the most important parts of this, just becoming fit in general, is stop with just setting the goals, start shifting the identity, right? If there's one takeaway that you get from this video, I hope it's that. Lack of structure. This is definitely an important one because, I love this quote from James Clear in Atomic Habits. You don't rise to the size of your goal, you fall to the level of your system. So you can have the most ambitious goal of all time. We all have big goals, right? But you'll always fall to the level of your system, your habit, right? So you need some strategy to actually guarantee that you're doing the right stuff, being structured in the right way, right? So kind of like we talked about earlier, hey, do I actually have a calendar that, I actually know when I'm going to implement these habits? How is it on a very tactical level going to fit into my daily routine, right? Do I know, make sure that the routine that I have is all stuff that I feel comfortable doing, right? If you're trying to get into the gym, but you're doing some of these meathead fitness influencer crazy training tactics, all these super complicated moves, barbell squats, right? Barbell, free weight this, free weight that, super high reps, supersets, drop sets. No matter, how excited you are about this identity shift, you got to make sure that you actually have a routine that's going to serve you in the long run, that's going to be sustainable. So that's why I really focus on the gritty reps, which is very simple to execute, right? It's very sustainable. We just focus on a lot of easy to do movements like machines. We're very patient with our workouts. They're a lot shorter, 30 to 45 minutes. They're simple, they're effective, they're straight to the point, right? We skip out on all the fluff and we get right to the sauce, right to the gritty reps, right to the meaningful rep, right? So you got to make sure you got a routine that's actually serving the future you, right? Easy one. Information overload. This is definitely important. Fundamentally, guys, dude, even just forget the gritty reps for a second, right? Fitness is so simple. Literally, it's three things. It's weight training, helps you build muscle. Cardio, right? Training a completely different system. Training the cardiovascular system. And nutrition. I call those the three pillars of progress. If you do those three things and you have habits in each of those three things, I have some weight training habits to help me build muscle. I have some cardio habits and some nutrition habits to help me stay lean. And I'm just doing all those three. That is literally all the information that you need. That's the cool thing about fitness is how simple it is. It's you don't need more information, you just need implementation, right? The reason you haven't got the results that you want yet is not because you don't know what to do. You know what to do. You got to eat nutritious food, right? You got to eat the right stuff in the right amount, right? You got to do some weight training, right? And you got to do some consistent cardio. If you do those three things and you have those habits set and you give it time, that's when the results start to come into fruition, right? So obviously there's easier and more sustainable, variations of those three things, right? It's a lot more sustainable to do the gritty reps, for example, than the meathead fitness influencer training programs. But it's also a lot more simple to do, 15 to 30 minutes power walk than maybe trying to get yourself to do, CrossFit or something, or these super hard hit workouts and stuff, right? And it might be easier for you to do, just understanding how I'm just going to treat food as fuel, and just having that paradigm, having that perspective, rather than having to be maniacal about weighing every single ounce of food that you eat and tracking every calorie to the minutia, right? So there's obviously variations of those three pillars that are easier to stick to than others, and there's some, that's why I have favorites, right? But in a very real way, it's if you're doing those three things, guys, guys, you're doing some cardio, you're lifting some weights, and you're eating the right stuff, that's how you get fit. So it's pretty simple. No need to overcomplicate it, okay? A lot of people like consume information as a way of procrastination. It's like you don't need to be just like going on Instagram, watching the same type of info over and over and over. You need to actually take action. You need to stop, like just worrying about another goal and start thinking about like, hey, who am I gonna become? Like in 30 years from now, do I still wanna be out of shape? Or do I wanna be on my deathbed and think like, man, I'm so happy that I was able to just actually take control of my health and not let that be something that was always bothering me in the back of my mind, but like actually just becoming a fit and healthy person. Like every person that you see that has a great body, they think of themselves as a fit person. So it's very easy for them to maintain that body, right? Like very rarely do you see like a really fit person that has a very unhealthy relationship with fitness where they're like, oh man, I have to do this so that I can like go splurge. And those people, you want to try to like stay away from their advice because it's usually not going to be good long-term advice. Those are the types of people that they usually end up getting out of shape, right? So you want to actually, I hope that makes sense, but it's like you actually, the minute you start thinking about, okay, this is how I want to identify, and then you start doing the things that that kind of person does, is the minute that you can stop worrying about just information overload and you can just start setting those simple habits. Accountability gaps, right? So this means is like people will be accountable and then they'll go like in long gaps without accountability, okay? And like the best way that I can kind of explain, how to easily solve this one is just having people on your team, right? That know this identity shift that you're creating rather than just trying to do it by yourself, right? Like you will always do more for others than you will for yourself, which like can be kind of hard to come to grips with. But for example, like if you tell somebody, hey, like I have this commitment of becoming a fit and healthy and active person, and the more people you tell, the easier it is for you to just never fall off from those daily habits that will end up being a necessity for you to actually, step into that new identity. So what you can do on a very real level is just tell a lot of people, hey, this is who I'm becoming. I need you to support me on this identity shift. And the people that want to see you stay exactly where you're at and don't support you in creating this transformation, those are not people that you want to be spending a lot of time with, okay? You want people that in your corner that are actually on the same side of the table as you, that want to see you grow and step into your true potential, right? So like hiring a coach or somebody that is going to hold you to that new standard, somebody that's going to give you all the tools and somebody that's going to lend you the encouragement that you're going to need to create this identity shift, that's a super powerful strategy. Another thing I like to do is I share my habits on my Instagram. So like I'm trying to create an identity shift of becoming a world-class business owner, a world-class performer, right? And I tell people, like I call my shot. I post my vision board on my story every single day. I'm like, hey guys, like this is the identity shift I'm trying to create. So by getting so many people involved, it makes it very improbable that I'll ever stop doing those habits because I'm not gonna like let all those people down, right? And feel like a phony. That would suck, right? So like you can do something similar. You can start a fitness page if you want and start posting your habits, declare your intentions. You can just tell everyone in your family and your friends. You can create a group chat. You can join, a coaching program where there's a community of other people that have a similar ambition, right? So there's lots of things that you can do to help you keep that accountability. Plateaued progress. So normally people will get plateaued progress. First of all, like if you're working out for the right intentions, you won't even really notice if you plateau because you're not doing it just to get this progress, right? Does that make sense? Like you're not doing it just to like see these results. Like the results are just the natural byproduct of being a fit person, right? So like I would challenge this one and say like, dude, who cares if you plateau? That's not why you're doing it. Like I might have plateaued. I also don't care. I'm still gonna keep working out for the next month, for the next year, for the next decade, for the rest of my life because I'm a fit person, right? So that other part doesn't even matter that much. But then also what I'll say is fundamentally, if you're progressively overloading, meaning you're actually like trying to slowly increase the weight with your workouts, that's the best way to not plateau, right? Also just, so that's how I honestly feel very purposeful with my workouts still, is I'm always like trying to set records. I'm always trying to get a tiny bit stronger than I used to be. So it kind of gamifies the whole thing. It makes it a lot easier to like feel like you're hitting a plateau. Even if I don't see like drastic changes in the mirror every single week or month, like I don't care. I know still that I'm getting stronger. So I feel like I'm stepping into a better version of me. All right, last one, guys. Low confidence in the gym. Okay, anytime like you're brand new at something and you don't have that much skill yet, it's normal that you're not gonna feel super confident doing it, right? So you just kind of have to take, like I remember when I first started going to the gym, like there was tons of other people that were like knew way more what they were doing, but I just kind of realized like, shoot, if I just keep showing up and I just keep practicing, I'm just gonna get better. Like think of everything that you're good at in your life. You're good at it because you've done it a ton of times. Like repetition is the best way to improve, right? So I love, like, there's this story of this, there was this teacher who was like teaching us like pottery, right? And on the first day of class, he divided the students of his class into two groups. One group was going to be the quality group, right? So they were going to spend the entire semester just focusing on creating the one perfect clay pot, right? And the other side of the group was going to be the quantity group. So they weren't going to create one pot. Their whole goal was just create as many pots as they possibly could, right? And at the end of the semester, the crazy thing was all the students in the quantity group, who their goal was just to make as many as possible, they ended up making way better pots than the people in the quality group. It's because they had all those reps, all those times that like they made those little refinements. They realized, oh shoot, I could have been better here. Okay, I kind of messed up there. Same exact thing with working out. You're never going to step into the gym and just be a master right away. It's not about that. It's about just choosing, hey, I want to be a fit person. I'm not in any rush. Every single time I show up to the gym, I'm proving to myself that I am who I say I am, right? I want to be a fit person. I show up to the gym, I am a fit person. You can be 300 pounds, but if you have that vision, I want to be a fit person. Every time you show up to the gym, you're proving that congruent, and that's gratifying, right? And then you just keep on doing it over and over and over, and the results are just a lagging indicator of your habit, right? So stop obsessing over the results. The results will come, okay? It's just about approaching it through the right frame. Like, hey, I love that congruency. I have this clear intention. I love showing up, in alignment with who I want to be, and I know the results will come with time. But the minute you start obsessing over, oh, I'm not where I want to be yet. Oh, like, why are there so many people that are doing this that are better than me? So many people on social media that are more fit than me. That is, the minute you're thinking that thought, that very thought is the problem, because it's not about that. All right. If you can keep that, like my client Ricky, for example, like when we started together, he was 300 pounds. Now he's 280 pounds, but he's one of the most confident dudes in the gym because he has an exciting vision of who he's becoming, and he loves showing up in alignment with who he wants to be. So it doesn't matter about where you're at. It matters what's in your mind, right? Your results don't define you. Your mind defines you, right? That's why if I step into your body, I would go into the gym, the most confident dude in the gym, even with your body, because my mind, I think of myself as a fit person, right? So you got to remember, if you can keep it in perspective that way, and you realize how simple this stuff is. It's literally as simple as, hey, I'm giving myself the gift of visualizing who I want to be. I'm selecting simple daily habits that are going to put me on path towards creating that identity shift. And then I just appreciate the alignment. I appreciate the alignment. I know I have the right habits in my routine that will get me there, and I trust the process, and I keep that faith in who I'm becoming. So that's how you can solve this one. So hope that this might have served you in some capacity. Just, tackled the 10 most common struggles that men just like you are experiencing in getting results with their health and fitness. And, if this is something that you would like to actually work on together, on a very intimate basis, you need help, like actually visualizing, hey, who can I become? Like, sometimes it can be hard to just coax that stuff out on your own, right? That is literally what I do. That is my life's mission, is helping men realize that fitness is their birthright, helping them visualize their true fitness potential, and then helping give them all the tools, give them the support, and help them set all those daily habits to turn their vision into a reality. So if that's interesting to you, just go ahead and DM me the word optimize on Instagram. We can have a conversation, and I can see how I might be able to help.